So this will be re-uploaded on my second channel eventually when we get there. As I mentioned earlier, right now we are streaming because it's fun, and if people just jump in, they can ask anything in the chat. But outside of that, let's do this. I will give you mouse control, and I will explain a few things because the website has some issues. The
Mm-hmm.
replay are basically broken, so we can do next action until we move to the next turn. And instead of smashing the next action, we need to click next turn, or we need to go on that list there.
Okay, I see. So if you're ending the turn, pressing next action is going to cause problems.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of glitches with these replays. I get stuck often, and I couldn't figure out why, but that would explain it.
It used to be great, but some people are against the website and they tried their best to tear it apart, and that's one of the consequences. So it's still working, but it has a few issues here and there. And if it crashes, we just need to refresh and we will like click on the right turn so it can work. But yeah, we do next action until the end of the turn, and at the end of the turn we next turn or we go on that column there.
All right, that's great to know. Uh,
So,
Even just for myself afterwards.
so just like any new guest on my channel, we will take a look to this. Sometimes people have quotes, and you don't have any, which is just like me, so that's fine. Um, so why this top 5 of seals? Drake, Clash, Olaf, Sami. Why these 5 are your top 5?
Okay, so Sammy, I enjoy the idea that I could start capturing, and even if my opponent fires at me, I could still finish the capture. It just feels like really strong, especially on smaller maps. Her powers are kind of underwhelming, which is the problem with Sammy, unless you get like a very opportune moment. Um, but she probably the biggest reason is she's often available in the list of COs. In Global League, the tier of CO that you're allowed to use seems to vary, but she often just seems to be selectable unless it's like tier 5 only or whatever, where it's only like um, very bad COs like Jess and Grim.
um, and Olaf. Why Olaf?
So Olaf is very easy to use. You kind of just use the super as soon as it's available in most cases. And then like you're winning.
This is true. And I guess that's the same reason with Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk also has that great day to day where it's just like, oh, your units just have better stats, and you don't. They all just have better stats. You don't have to worry about like, oh, a certain type of unit's weaker than usual. Just very easy to play with.
But then you got Lash. This one is very interesting, and you know why? I think this is a very hard seal to play, but she is really, really strong. So I'm actually surprised to see her in your top 5 because people don't know how good she is and people just don't play her. They'd rather like have Drake or other seals that just are easier to play. So why Lash is there? I actually like it a lot.
I don't really know. I'm trying out a bunch of different COs as I begin my Advance Wars career, but playing against Lash in the campaign, when you use your power and you have a unit standing on a city or on a mountain, it just like it's impossible to do any significant damage, and that seems like it's probably strong. And then there are a lot of maps where there's a lot of high star terrain to put your units in, so that seems to just benefit her.
That's a good take. So Drake, we all know it. You just smash the button. It's pretty easy. But then
Yeah.
another very interesting pick. Why Sasha?
Um, I don't know. Just more money seems like it's a good thing. She's definitely not as broken as Colin. Like not even close. Um,
She's a more fair Colin.
yeah, sort of. I haven't really gotten the hang of. So actually, both of the games I played Sasha in was against Von Bolt, and Sasha's regular CO power kind of kills Von Bolt's whole thing because he'll never use a super ever.
Yeah, but here's the take. Vombold should still be able to shut her down. So depending on how good was your opponent, um, if he was weaker or at the same level as you, I could understand why you basically shut him down. But the moment you got like a good Vombold, he should slap Sasha around because her early game advantage is really good. But as the game keep getting longer and longer, you will more likely lose because Sasha is a very early game CEO because her big thing is her extra money, her 10% she has. That's the big thing, and yeah, I see in my chat Sasha as the weakest unit in tier one, and I totally agree with that. I think her and Grit are actually the weakest seals in tier one, and I also think Ox should be tier two because all he has is global damage, but global damage is still very strong. But tier one should be like Javier, Sasha. Von Bolt, Grit, and Storm is considered one, but I consider him zero because he just breaks the maps.
My connection seems to.
What's going on? Do you hear me? Are you there? Are you there? I think we have technical issues here.
Hello.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, my internet had a little bit of a moment, it seems, but
Yeah, sometimes it's like that. So now you are back. Now it's
great.
working. So
Oh,
we're
the echo is back though.
the echo's back. That's weird. Still have my headset. So I will try something on my side, but I don't think this will work. Actually, if I do that, do you still hear some echo?
Let me see. No, I do not.
Okay. So next time, maybe on your side, try to mute Parsec. Maybe this will solve the thing.
Oh, that probably would do it, actually. That makes sense.
That's what I just did, but usually I don't need that. I just need the headset. But where did we cut off?
Oh yeah, just to clear the record on the Sasha versus Von Bolt thing, I won one game and lost one game in that matchup.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Von Bolt is just a much better seal. Sasha is the kind of seal that is really strong early in the game, but she becomes worse if the game is too long because her
Mhm.
power will cost too much, and later in the game we have like some specific numbers of money, so that's some kind of stalemate, and in stalemate she's kind of bad. Now I will speak about why I picked Jess. I think she is a really good tier 4. I think we played tier 4. Did we play 3 or 4? I actually forgot. Because I know
Uh,
I consider Sami 3, so did we play 4 or 3?
I'm pretty sure we played 4. Sammy is considered 4 in Fog. I know you rate her better than that.
Yeah,
But
and in some maps she is officially better than 4, but in other maps she is 4. Um, so I will speak why I picked Jess. There's a serious lack of Jess showcase on my channel, so I was like, okay, tier 4. I have a whole series about Dream that will come out soon because I'm almost done recording everything. But I take a look at the seals, like the less seals I think Jess and Jake are like the two seals in tier 4 I played the less. And in my chat, Sasha does do better against some seals like Eagle and Olaf. So I think she's tier 1. Exactly, yeah, you're right, Advanced Warrior. She clearly shut down Eagle and Olaf, that's why she's 1. But that's it. So yeah, Jess, um, I think she was actually a terrible pick for this map, and here's the why: all the mountain here.
hmm
So this is terrible. I think in this map, in tier 4 at least, the best pick would be like Adder, Cole, um, maybe Jake because air supremacy can be important. And Sami is actually a really, really good pick because all of the mountain, the enemy unit will be all slowed down, and I think even if I trash make a lot because make are trash, I think she can actually rely on having like 2 mechs. Of course, if you build mechs, you will need transport, but I don't think we have. Maybe we will see. We will see in the replay, but I think you can count on mechs because there's a lot of forests, and mech and forests are like the perfect trap for a tank or something. Why did you pick Sammy in this specific game? I know in the intro we spoke about you liking Sammy, but why did you pick her in this map?
um, so the way this game happened was I was in your stream chat, and you just told me what's a CO you like, and I said Sammy, and you're like, okay, play her. So I just did. That's why I picked
Oh, okay, I
Sammy.
see. I see, I
Yeah.
see. That's a good reason.
But if I were just looking at this and we had only tier fours available, I would probably still have picked Sammy because I associate Sammy doing well with small maps, and what you said about the terrain is also true. So yeah, I think CO wise, Sammy should have the advantage here.
Yeah, you're right, and that's funny because I do agree with smaller map, and that map is pretty small. Yes, there are corners, they are very far away, but there's only 2k value, and most of the action will happen in the center. And now we will speak about the map choice. I like global link maps, but sometimes when I create games like that, I just go on recent map, I take a look, I make sure it's not light base because I truly hate light base. Light base is terrible, it's not fun. So I found that map and I was like, oh, that could be a fun map, so let's play it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So now you are in charge. Keep in mind, we move and then we do next turn.
Okay. All right. So starting off, just kind of standard stuff. Everyone's building infantry, moving them forward. Obviously, going for the base first. You want to definitely capture bases as soon as possible. Get that unit count up.
You see, you should have
That's what
went
the
for next turn instead of move. But now that's fine because it's still early, but eventually it will just bug.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, I gotta pay attention to what it says the next action is. There we go.
That's the way to
Okay.
do it. Do this
All
right.
right. All right. So we're just again building a ton of infantry. Seems capturing some nearby properties. I misclicked there, but you saw me try.
Yeah. If it
Okay.
crashes, we know what happened.
Okay, so right here, here's something I wonder about sometimes. You
Yeah,
notice I moved my infantry on the far right past this base, trying to go for this
yeah.
farther out base here. Um, I feel like Sammy's probably a better CO to do that with, but in general, like, would you recommend doing that, or does it depend?
It it depends on a lot of things. By doing that, what do you want to achieve? You want to reach these building faster or this building faster? If you want to reach this building faster, it's the wrong info because you will reach it anyway. This is what we call a building chain. So you got a building there, one, two, three, you got a building there. And with this building, there's another chain, one, two, three. So by skipping this building, it's not really the good move. But if your mission is to reach these building faster or the corner faster, then I'd say it's fine. But it's very important. Never miss your chain because the chain are very important for early economy, especially if you play COs like Sasha. If Sasha is really hard to play, it's because she plays on the economy itself, and sometimes she will give priority to building instead of early base if that doesn't break the production chain of units. But in general, you would like to get like early money fast. And by going there, if it's only to reach this building, it's not good because you're skipping on money. And as you can see, I captured this building. And I captured this building because I know after that I will have the chain to go there and there. Or I will have the chain to go there and then maybe become closer to that area there. So I think by skipping this building, it's not really a good move in this specific case. In some cases, you can go there, but as I mentioned, this is the chain. So this is like 3k you can get really fast. This is why it's bad.
Okay, that is very good advice. That comes up all the time, so keep building chains in mind. I've never heard of that concept before, but that makes a lot of sense.
There's another
Um,
building chain I could show you. The building here. It's the perfect chain because one, two, three tower. Then I can branch out to this or that. So if I am smart, I don't think I will be smart because sometimes I just play because I have instinct and sometimes I just play because I'm smart. Depends on the game and my mood. But if I am smart, I will do chain and chain or chain and chain. So I will pick these two after that if I'm smart. So this one should go on a straight line on top. But I don't know if I will do that. I actually forgot. But we will see what I did. But the best option is like really see the chain. There's the chain there. So that infantry should not go technically speaking to this because that would mean if you're there you only have two options left. Here or there.
all
And
right, I see. You
they are
wanna
not bad option per se, but we can also speak about other infantry priority here. You see this one, maybe it can go there, or I will send it there. I really don't know. I forgot how I played this, but I think this infantry should be sent there. So this infantry should indeed keep going. Whatever the choice I will do, the best option for me right now is to reach that building because of that chain, and that building because it's closer. Early in the game, the most important thing is really the economy. If your capture game is weak, you, you will likely lose at some point because your opponent, if he has a better capture game, will just have tank faster. He will be able to double tank faster than you. It also comes back to, let's say, Sasha. I played a game recently. I was able to double tank infantry 2 turns before my opponent. So early in the game, I really out tank him, and that's why I took a huge lead. And it's not only because Sasha get extra money, it's also because I had good capture game early in the game. If you don't have a good capture game, even if you're Sasha, maybe it won't be enough.
Gotcha. And so in this case, like the chain is to a comm tower, which is different from when it's a chain to just a city. It
A
doesn't
chain
help your economy.
is yeah, but it can help the firepower, and at some point we will have engagements. And if I for example I capture that and then I do this and then I do that, that infantry is doing nothing. So even if the tower doesn't help your economy, if it's part of your chain, you should still go for it, because this way your infantry will be doing something. An infantry that is not capturing should be moving towards something. And if you like you 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you still get a building and you still get the money faster, but that infantry is sitting and doing nothing for like 2 turns.
Okay, so a play I'm envisioning here is you move this infantry to the comm tower, start the capture, but then next turn move right to the building. Then way you get your funds a turn earlier. I don't know if that's worth it at all,
That
but
can be worth it. It really depends on some people. That can be actually a good move. That's a good option. That's not really a trash option, but um, I don't know. I just like having my building, and you made a good point. So it's not really bad. It really depends on how you play at that point.
gotcha. Yeah, so that's a decision point. That's not a
Yeah.
yeah, okay. We'll see how I move my infantry here. I think yeah,
So I will
I'm
ask you
moving a
something.
lot along this top.
I will ask you something. Why didn't you
Sure.
bought a transport copter?
Um, Good question. I guess I kind of figured, oh, I'm gonna be spamming so many infantry that I'm gonna be covering the map soon enough anyway. But you're right. Sammy gets extra movement on transports, and I had enough for it. I guess maybe I was considering saving up for next turn getting a tank, but that I don't know if I ended up even doing that.
Um, now, I will tell you something. It depends. If you go for tank on the next turn, it can be good. But there are different types of opening. Some people open with tanks, some people open with recon, some people open with transport. In this specific map, I did open with transport. And here's why. I want a better capture game, and I want to maybe beat you on the capture game to have a faster economy, and I want to ferry my infantry faster on the battlefield because I know you got better infantry than me. So I I had no other option. I needed a transport because I needed to be able to compete with you. Now, the tank opening is another good opening in a lot of map, in a lot of case as well, because tank is the perfect counter for the recon opening or the transport opening. I think the tank opening is my favorite, but in this specific map here, I do like the transport opening, because you see there's a lot of forest, right? So if you have a transport copter, you can ferry your infantry faster. That's why I like the transport opening. In this map, the tank and recon opening, they are not really bad, but I would not suggest it because all of these forests slow down the pace of the game. All of these forests make this map much slower than the usual map. So I think the very aggressive start won't really pay off. I mean, you will have the edge early in the game, but if the other player went for the transport, then the other player will have better economy faster than you. Because at that point in the game, you don't have the money for a battle copter without base skipping. So I think in this map, the only true opening you can have is the transport. Now the tank and recon, as I said, they're fine. They're not really bad. Like early in the game, you may have a very good advantage because I won't have any response to your things. But the transport are really important in some maps, and I think as any CO transport can be helpful. Now, do I build transport on every single map? No. I really look at the map and I'm like, okay, is the map good for transport? In this case, the APC is actually awful because of all of these forests, and it's
Hmm.
really rare I say that because I hate transport copter, but transport copter are just better than APC in this map because of all of the forest. And this is the only map where I will tell people use transport copter instead of APC. APC is a much better unit overall, it resists more and can resupply as well, so it's just a better unit, but the transport are very underrated. Now, how many transport in a game? One should be fine. If you build too many, then you won't have any response for tank or recon. And think of that. Transport boosts economy, but transport does not go at the offensive except if you plan on making mechs. Now, you are sami. I'd recommend in a semi playstyle to have 2/3 mechs depending on the map, and at least one transport per 2 mechs. So if you got 3, you can deal right with 1 APC because it's like 1.5 and there's no F, so 1 should be fine. But the moment you go like to 4 mech, which is a bit too much, you absolutely need 2 transport bare minimum. And I think another reason why semi can be so good is the emphasis on the transport copter in this map. Because of the transport copter, you can have mechs as a viable option, as I said. And usually, I really hate mechs. I'm pretty sure you have seen a few of my video, and you know why I hate them so much. I always explain why mechs are trash, but as Sami, mechs are somewhat essential depending on the map. This map is small, so mech can be reliable, and if mechs are reliable, then transport are as well.
Yeah, I think end up making 2 mechs, but not till way later on in this game, which could have been a mistake. One thing I think I should start doing that I haven't really done yet in my games is making these mechs, and then Sammy's CO powers kind of rely on your foot soldiers,
Yeah,
but your infantry aren't going to do anything to any unit pretty much other than other infantry. But mechs can actually like hurt tanks and recon and
yeah.
artillery a little bit. So having some of those around is definitely a good thing. It would make having the CO power available a lot more impactful.
So we will get back to the power later on, but it's very underappreciated because you're like they can only attack infantry, and that tells me something. You're not very experienced against experienced player. I know in your video I commented, and then you commented back and you said your friend aren't really that good, and I can tell how casual they must be. So Advanced Wars by Web is probably your true competitive, in quote, play of Advanced Wars. And I will tell you this, infantries are very important, and this is why Sami is this good. But we will get back to it later on the game when more action happens and when you're about to get your power. So, except if you want to add up more things or ask a question about what's going on right now, we can move further.
Yeah, let's move on from here. Um, So I don't make the transport copter. It's your turn. Capture, load up, drop off. Okay, that makes sense. Um, so there's something weird in Advanced Wars by Web where your transport units can load and unload
I know,
multiple times per turn.
broken. It's stupid. They should fix it, but they won't.
Is that not intentional? That's like by accident.
I think at first it was by accident. People point that out and they're like, we will fix it, but they never fix it. Instead, they gave snow and rain animation, which is fine. I like animation, but you should fix the transport.
No, yeah, like there's a technique called like APC hopping
Yeah, I know.
that's like it's documented on like one website, so it's impossible to find any information on it, but
Oh.
it seems like it's only possible in Advanced Wars by Web.
It's dumb. Basically, what's going on? You can load and unload the same turn because unload is not considered an action. So if I want, I can like use my infantry on the bottom, enter in the transport, and unload again. So I can unload 2 infantry the same turn.
Very, very nice.
Very
Do you
broken.
so do you use that when you do use transport?
It depends on the cases. In this specific
Okay,
case here, there's no point for me to drop my infantry there because I have 3 squares anyway.
that's true. Yeah,
And
that's a good point.
the second thing, that infantry should be going further here and not there. There I already got these 2 infantry, but this one will probably go there. But this one is meant to go in the upper part. So my transport will basically ferry and boost my infantry in the back.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Okay. Seems pretty good so far. Making more infantry. Here's where I find out if I actually ended up making a tank. Also, what do I do with this infantry? That's the big question. If I don't go here, then I made the wrong move not capturing this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
You
that was a
actually made,
misplay then.
yeah, because you see, instead of capping, to make up for your mistake, you could send it there to reach this city faster. But the
Yeah,
sole fact that you went there instead shows the mistake.
gotcha. Yeah. Here I make an APC. I don't know why.
Okay. Okay, I will correct something.
Okay, wait,
2
wait.
things. Oh my, what happened? Oh yeah.
Oh, oh, I don't know.
Play.
Okay, wait,
Let's
wait.
move. Let's move next turn, so all the move are done. Okay, we
Okay,
will
yeah.
speak about that APC. We need to speak about the APC. First of all, I mentioned the forest. APC are terrible in this map because of the amount of forest, and they just give 2 extra movement to the infantry because you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because you are sami 7. So the infantry can reach there in 1 turn instead of 2 turns. This is good, but if you truly want transport capture. Now there's the second issue with this APC. Do you have any infantry in the back that can enter this APC? Not really, because you see, that one is already advanced. And even if you load it in, you will actually lose steps with that infantry. Now, if we speak about that infantry wants this building,
Yeah.
right? So, well, why the APC there? Now, if you truly want the APC, where would you make it?
Probably here because, you have this very clear path with no forest. It's just road and plains, and you can sort of go down here, maybe, or cut left and go towards the center. You're not impeded as much if you build it from here. So that's my best guess.
This is a good explanation, and I got a second explanation to why there. You see that infantry, 1, 2, 3. So it can reach these stuff. With the APC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, drop. So instead of reaching this style, you reach this tile. So even if that infantry is advanced, that infantry is not capping anything, and that infantry will be really slow to reach the battlefield. So even if you make your APC over here, your APC will boost your infantry faster, and you will reach this building faster, leaving the chain to this building for this infantry. So that's the second reason. When you make a transport, always make sure on the turn you can use a transport, you can transport something. If you cannot transport anything the turn you build a transport, your transport will be very slow to pay itself back, and it won't be a good transport. Your current APC is actually terrible, sorry to say that, but we need to speak about the truth, right?
No, no, that's
I,
fine, dude.
I,
I
I'm
need
here.
to.
I'm here to help out, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no. I appreciate the criticism. I'm trying to improve my game, and you don't get direct feedback with stuff like this. Um,
Yeah.
Someone to make it very clear. That's a useful thing to have. So I appreciate it.
So yeah. So that's the APC issue. I think we can go further now, since I think it's clear why that APC was pretty bad.
Yeah. All right. Capture. Capture. Make a tank. Okay.
So now I will also explain why I did this. Um, that infantry will go for that building, leaving that chain here like that. So that capture, I left it close enough so the infantry can enter. And that infantry now has two choices, either here or there. I think the smart move is to go there. I can't remember if I did that. This infantry will probably enter the copter, and I will try to snatch that building away. I think that's the game plan. And the tank here, at that point I didn't realize here is less rough. But then when I analyze more the map, I think this should be the weak side. Because yes, it's less rough and you reach a bit faster the battlefield, but it's the further as well. So because it's the further, you won't be able to reinforce fast the troop you send in this area. And if you send troops in this area, you will be able to reinforce faster. So basically map dynamic is weak side, strong side. Strong side, you have usually two bases that can reinforce an area faster. And weak side is the side where it will be harder for you to send troops. Because if, for example, I want to send my troops in this area from this base, good luck, because either I pass by a lot of forests and I'm still far away and I cannot protect me, or if I pass by the road, then I'm still far away from that area. But these two there are pretty close, so let's say my tank reached there. For example, I did a double tank turn, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can actually protect from that tile my tank on that tile. It's still pretty bad because the map is weird, but usually it should be faster to reinforce on your strong side where you have two bases like close from each other. So I traded my tank there because I feel like it's faster to reach the center and it's my strong side in quotes.
Yeah, I think later on in the game, I also mostly built from that base on my side. It felt closer to where some of the action was happening. So yeah, this space is definitely the weakest one to build a vehicle from. And you're Jess, so you want to get those vehicles rolling, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, there was no reason to do any of that, but yeah, my infantry could have just walked there.
We learn, we learn.
Yeah. Okay. I'm making artillery. Um, I
Why
think
an
that's
artery?
um, I think I think my mindset while I was building this was Sammy. I know you're Jess. You want to make a bunch of tanks. Sammy doesn't have as strong of tanks, but her indirects are just as powerful as any other COs. So slightly more efficient too. And if I'm building a bunch of infantry, maybe I can make a wall and sort of slide my artillery in behind it.
Okay. I will speak about uh, mistakes and error I see often with beginner or people that start off, because in Global League I played a lot of Global League. I'm like in the 900 realm, but because I'm on the 900 realm, uh, I see much more often 800 people than 1000 people, and it's normal because 1000 is such a huge power gap. It's just getting crazy when you become 1000, and people don't really realize it until they go there. But I fought many 1000, and I fought many 800s, because when you're in the 900 realm, they try their best to give you 800 and 900. But I think there are much more people in the 800 than the 900, so you will often see people 800. And I've seen a lot of sami plays, and I will speak about the artery. The artery on its own, it's fine as sami. Now, I have two issues with this specific artery. The first one is the reason you had is to say, um, you are just, you have better tank. It's normal, but Semi should still have tanks in their army. Tanks are still very important in their army. Now, our artillery are better. That doesn't mean you need to spam them. Artillery cannot defend themselves from tanks. Weaker tanks, they can still defend themselves. And if you have several tanks, and if you can latch on one of your opponent tank, you can kill it. Even if it's a Jess tank, which is a better tank than yours, you can still kill it. Now, that's the first issue. Direct units should not be forgotten by Sami players. I see a lot of Sami player having their army collapsing because they are based on infantry walls, mechs, and artillery. It's not a viable tactic. It's just not working because they cannot counterattack, and they are very long to place, and they are very long to set up, and they pay themselves pretty fast when you're able to place them. But now I am Jess. So because I am Jess, I will be a very aggressive seal. So that's another reason why artillery, you should not rely too much on them. Now, I will defend all the artillery. They are one of my favorites units. They are really good. They are really strong. It's all you use them. And we will go to my second reason why I don't like that artillery. The APC build you had before. So, the APC build was terrible, but the idea in itself was fine. Now, if you open with an APC, you should follow up your APC with a tank or a recon. And here are the reasons. First of all, you need vision to see danger coming toward your APC. And second, you need to counterattack or attack infantry and mech fast. Artillery cannot do such tasks. So, tank or recon are the follow-up for APC. Having an artillery as a follow-up for an APC, you can surprise your opponent at some extent, but it's not really good. It's just not really good because I already have a tank, you don't have any. So next turn I will have 2 tank. You still, maybe you will build 1 tank next turn. I don't know what's your next build, but maybe you will have a tank. So now it will be my 2 tank against your only tank, and my 2 tank are better than yours. Now depending on how you use the artillery, maybe it can substitute for a tank, but in order to do so, you will need to kill a tank with your artillery, or you will need to zone out stuff with it in order to make it work like a tank, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay,
So
yeah.
the artillery are very good, but never forget about your direct unit, even if you're sami. Now, most seals, I would say it's a staple for me, 2 indirects per game. Now, if you're Max, it's a different story. Max is trash. I never play him anyway, but most seals, I will splash 2 artillery here and there. Sometimes 3, depending on how close the game is and how I want to surprise my opponent, but it's essential to have tank and recon. Even as grit, even if grit has weaker direct and OP indirect, he still relies heavily on recon and tank and fog. Now I've seen a weird grid player that was actually really strong, but not for the good reason, was just better than me, but that grid player had much more tank than artillery, and I was actually caught off guard. So he actually beat me, but the usual staple for like a good grid player, I think, it's like splashing 2 or 3 tanks and like 1 or 2 recon to have the vision, and the rest is like artillery, 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 etc., etc. So all seals need tanks and recon. They are like the staple units. They're essential.
Yeah, I don't think I make that many recons, so maybe I should do that more often. Tanks, always building all the time. I don't know if this game is a good example of that, but in general I do, I promise.
That's good. So let's see how it goes next. You can move further.
Yeah. Cap. Okay. Yep.
And indirect, I will add up more to it. Indirect are often used as counter or when you know you are short in tank but you got the vision. Are you just saying he's playing a little too slow? I don't know where you are right now, but no, I don't. I'm never hinted at that. We were just on
Yeah,
a tangent. That was my chat. My chat is. Are you saying he's playing a little slow? Not really.
yeah, I should maybe open chat. Uh, hang on, let me bring it up real quick. I don't know if I can bring it up and then also not interrupt everything we're doing. Hold on.
No, I see it on my
You're
second screen, so I'm fine.
you're streaming from multi-topic talk. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Got it now. Hello, chat. How are you doing? You have a tank and a recon at this point. Oh, you loading the APC up. Let's see where I send it. Actually kind of makes sense. Okay. What do you think of labs? Capturing them is
Look, sometime in some maps with some set of rules, they unlock units. But in general, lab, I feel like they are useless. They should not be part of any maps because I feel like they
yeah.
should give more than what they actually do. Sometimes they just give nothing. So I feel like maybe they should increase defense, or maybe they should increase vision, increase something else than just adding unit to the pool. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a game I'm playing right now where I skipped my lab, but my opponent captured theirs, and I am winning. So maybe that's why.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Finally capturing that city. Took a little while to get to that.
So now,
Alright, I make a tank and a mech
and
and
then
a
infantry.
infantry.
I will speak about that build, and before I speak about that build, I will speak about something else. I do think you are player 2, right?
Yeah.
Look at my income, look at yours.
Mm-hmm.
This is telling... I think you started with an extra infantry, right?
Yeah. Yeah, one infantry.
This is telling me your capture game was weaker than mine. Player
Mm-hmm.
2 should always be equal or have one or two extra building over player 1 because of the extra infantry. Now, all goes to how you captured your thing. You see, you're still capping this front line, but me, I'm almost done. Like, I cap here, I cap here. I will be at 13. Now, you will surpass me next turn, but the turn you lost money because you didn't do the chain is the turn you lost money. Do you see where I'm getting at?
No, yeah, yeah.
So this turn you kind of gave me the lead by I mean a kind of weak capture game. Now you will take the lead, and it's normal. You're player 2, and at the end, it's not the worst capture game ever. I've seen much worse than that, like many time over. But uh, you still add one turn delay, which should not be the case. Now, I will speak about the build. Tank, mech, infantry. Now, the mech. I'm not quite sure why you built it there.
Probably needs an APC supporting it.
Yeah. First of all, if you want a mech, build it there or build it here. If you build it here, this means you want your mech to be in this area. If you build it here, this means you want it there. And if it's there, it's closer to the center, it's closer from everything, it's closer from the APC as well. By placing it there, it's kind of bad, because mech are already really slow, and either you will need a new transport, which I don't really suggest for only one mech, because you already got that APC there, or you bring back the APC, but the APC will take forever because of the forest, because your mech is very far away. So that mech build was pretty bad, because you need to switch these two. Mechs should always be at the closest to the battlefield. There, closer from here. Here, it's like your worst base to build stuff. It's like the base to reinforce either the weak side or the strong side when you don't really know what you want to do. And yeah, that's why that base is to support unit. And mech are not really supporting because they are very slow walker. Infantry support much better than mechs. Now, a mech on a mountain is better than an infantry on mountain, but that's off topic right now. What I'm talking about is supporting fast and like sending L to fronts.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I should definitely pay more attention to which base I'm building things from. This happened in chess too for a while. I was always in the mentality of, oh, it's just the opening. As long as I don't screw up majorly, it doesn't really matter. But it does matter. So paying a
That
bit more attention to those things would come in
That's
handy.
funny because I can locate these things into other players, but even myself, sometimes I do have hard time with myself because I'm not as critical as others.
Yeah, sometimes you just play lazy,
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
fine. If having game knowledge is good. Because if it really push came to shove, you would focus and try your best. Okay. and that recon barely moved.
Yep. That's also why I placed the recon there. Wanted the recon to support my tank in terms of vision. Now, the reason why I built that battlecopter, first of all, I had the money for battlecopter and 3 infantry. I think when you get 12k in 3 base maps, so there are like 2 kind of turn I like to pick. Either I pick tank, recon, infantry turn, or battlecopter, 3 infantry. Now, in this specific case, I went for battlecopter and 3 infantry, because in this map, battlecopter are really good because of the forest. They can assist the unit very fast, and I will add this more. Sami has weaker direct units, so she doesn't want to build anti-air. Sometimes she will be like happy to have some battlecopter, but she doesn't want to build anti-air. Now, as Sami, you should still always build anti-air as preventive to counter air units, but I've seen many times with lower rated player, they don't tend to think about the anti-air, so like one battlecopter can just slam them before they realize, oh, I need an anti-air. Usually it's more experienced or skilled player that do that preventive anti-air. And it's just because they know how good battlecopters are with like all COs. So that's why I went for battlecopter. I wanted to bait in an anti-air or force you to build one if you didn't made any, and even if Sami has weaker anti-air, she should still rely on them. She cannot let loose a battlecopter. Now, as Sami, maybe battlecopter can be fine, depending on which CO you fight. If you fight Eagle, anti-air. If you fight most other COs, battlecopter on battlecopter is fine. But the reason why I say Sami versus Eagle, battlecopters on battlecopters, is because Eagle has extra defense with his copters and he has extra firepower. So Sami will just lose the fight. Even if she takes the first strike, she will deal damage, but then the counterattack will be so violent it may wipe out Sami copter.
Okay, that's good to keep in mind. My first couple games, I slacked on the anti-air. I think I've gotten more vigilant at building them as of recently, because your opponent just throws in an unexpected battlecopter. It throws off everything.
Yeah, he smashed
So,
through 3 tanks before you can react if you don't have your preventive anti-air.
yeah, and even if your opponent didn't build a battlecopter, like anti-air is still good against infantry. They're still a good unit.
Yeah, and mechs.
And mechs too. Yeah.
How to counter mech spam. Not tank, anti-air, copters, medium tank. This is how to counter mech spam.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And I will add another reason why I didn't go for my tank, recon, infantry. I already had a tank and a recon, and because of the forest, I felt like having another tank and another recon was overkill, so I was like, I will wait a bit to have them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Here okay, what did I do here? Hold on.
That's weird. When
Was I trapped? Wait, if I were trapped, would it show on the replay?
I
The
really
little
don't know.
icon? Okay.
But
So my only thought is maybe I thought I was gonna get vision of what was going on your side, but APCs do not have that much vision, so I don't know what was going on here, to be honest.
Okay, I laugh hard because first of all, sometimes I do the same when I'm desperate. But the other thing why I laugh is APC for scouting, bro. Where's your recon at? Where's your recon at? That APC should be boosting infantry to pay itself back. If you only boost one infantry, it's not a good APC. Now, take a good example of my transport copter. I boosted these infantries there. I have an infantry on the front line, but that's not the only one. I was able to capture a building faster because of that transport copter. That infantry is there because of that transport copter. So you see, yeah, I know, Advanced Warrior. That's why I'm also guilty of it. But when I'm desperate, that's what I do. But anyway, yeah, my transport copter boosted infantry. My infantry are further than yours because of my transport, and it's not only one infantry. If you see the APC as like, I only boost one unit, if it's an infantry, it's not a good APC. If it's a mech, I could argue depending where you drop the mech at, if you drop it on a good location like a forest or a mountain that is like in the center of the map, or a part of the map where there's a lot of building, then it's a good APC. But if it's just like, I boosted that infantry in the corner, it's not a good transport.
Right. Oh, by the way, very bold of you to assume I wouldn't have an infantry in this forest right here. That's technically on my side of the map, right?
Yeah, I took the risk, and in
It paid
this
off.
in this version as well, I feel like there's a lot of things weird, like you scout before you drop, so I feel more safe to do risky moves like that. Because I know in the true game, the original game, you move, then you drop, and then if there's a unit where you want to drop, you get trapped, and your unit is not dropped. But on an Advanced Wars by Web, you have the vision before you drop, which is
Oh wait, you can still. So wait, if your transport gets trapped, you can still drop after,
yeah,
like to a
that's
different tile.
that's another stupid things they changed from the game.
I see. Okay, that's useful note to have. I'll pocket that one for later.
Now you know. That's why I prefer the true game, but it's really hard to play with other people from other places with the true game. I
Oh
cannot
yeah.
wait for Reboot Camp, man. Reboot Camp, I will stream the shit out of this game.
Yeah. So the only problem with Reboot Camp is I'm worried because it doesn't have the same you know, chess by mail style system where you can play a bunch of games at once. Are you just gonna have to play live games every time? Um, I think so, probably. Which is fine. It's still
I
Advance Wars.
I
It's still
have
fun.
just no expectation for Reboot Camp. I want the game. I know I will like it, but I don't lift my expectation anywhere. I will get the game when I will get it, and I will worry about the game when I will get it, and I will play the game when I will get it. But all I want is the game.
Right, yeah. I'm planning on playing that a lot and probably streaming or making videos about it too.
I think it will
As I'm
know
sure
some
many
kind
of
of
you guys are.
bump. Yeah, there will be some kind of bump with that.
Hmm. So let's see. What am I doing here? I moved to capture. I see your infantry, and I'm like, okay, guess that's not getting captured. Here, I finished the capture of the lab instead of moving on to this building. That I would call a mistake.
Yeah.
Um, okay, wait. Remind me, how does it work if you capture this lab? That's not a problem, right? Because they still have an HQ.
Yeah. So the lab, the only thing it does is unlocking some units and some maps and some set of rules. Right now, I set the rules the same for lab and whiteout labs. So that lab is just useless. Now, I don't know if I did set a time limit. Sometimes I set time limits in games. Labs do count into buildings, so they break ties if both people have the same income, but one of the two player have more labs or whatever. But outside of that, they are useless, and there are labs when there are no HQ. These labs are considered HQ, but now we have HQ, so it's kind of pointless. Even if you lose the lab, it won't change anything.
Okay, yeah. So the HQ overrides that whole
Exactly.
mechanic. Yeah.
The
Okay.
the the lab mechanic as HQ is only when there are no HQ. And sometimes there are maps where there are two labs, and then you need to capture both labs to win.
Alright, so here I build mech infantry, have 5k left
Oh
over.
my. Okay, I will tell you something. Are you getting a transport? Are you,
No, is the
okay,
answer. It should be, the answer should be yes, but it's
yeah,
no in actuality.
because you got another mech, and the APC is
And I have it,
chilling on my property right now. So I will
yeah,
tell
so,
you this: tank, Raycon, tank and Raycon are essential. They are key to victory. Mechs are not.
mhm.
And at least now the mech placement is much better than the first one, but that's the only thing I can praise. You got a lot of infantry right now, and this is a pretty small map, so I think like right now the cap phase is almost over, and we will need engagement. And when we truly do engagement, this is when we get tank, recon, artillery sometimes. But you see, you will have too many infantry. That's one issue that will happen, and I did not succeed during the game. I was like, what the F is going on? Where are his offensive units? Now, never stop building infantry. It's essential to have at least one infantry build per turn. But sometimes I switch my infantry build for a mech build if I am sami. But that's only if I am sami and if I don't have too many mechs, because I consider when I'm sami mechs as infantry, but I still prefer infantry. That's why I don't really spam mechs. But I have high regards for sami mechs. I will tell this. But even if I have high regards, that doesn't mean I spam them. That doesn't mean they override infantry. I just praise them more than the other seals. Now, with that being said, three camping units by the 8. In most maps, it's very bad. In most maps. I can't recall any maps where day 8 we still are into the capture phase. Usually by day 8 we spam tanks, recon, anti-air. No, Advanced Warrior, I don't agree. Other mechs are still trash. Um, Yeah, at that point, we need different units. And I think by day 8 or 9, and sometime a bit later, like 10, this is the turn I get an anti-air instead of a tank, because I expect air units soon. Like, really soon. Right now, at that point, I think this turn here will be the turn I will make my first anti-air, I think. Usually, that's the turn I will be doing. Why? Well, I don't like Surprise Copter. Surprise Copter can mess up your capture game. Surprise Copter can mess up your tanks game. Surprise Copter can F you up really bad. You don't want that.
Right. So I guess maybe the improvement I should have made here, obviously not getting this mech would have been fine, but since I did buy the mech and I have 5k in the bank and I have this airport open with nothing built on it,
Transport Copter.
yeah, that might have been in order.
Because your APC is chilling on my territory for some reason.
Yes, it really
if,
needed to see that. It can
if,
see into this forest to make sure you have nothing there. And
if
it sees your infantry standing on the building.
if your APC went back, now I would say you don't really need to transport Copter, but now
Right.
you don't have any transport in the area, and you got two mechs that are basically doing nothing.
Yeah. You're right. Um, let's see what happens next. Okay. Fire, and I'm not capturing that. Oh, here I'm like, look at this artillery firing on that tank. But
Yeah.
then, I think my vision goes away.
Yeah. So I will explain another thing. Now, it's not a pro player thing, it's just a thing I like to do, and sometimes can bite me back in the butt, because as I said, it's not a pro strat, it's just one of my strat. when you can to hit KO something, do it. Now, of course, if it's a bad engagement, try not doing it. But in my case, deleting one of your infantry because you're sami, it's really good. I will also repeat something Catby told me. Catby is one of the top 10 player in Fog, and I did many video with him. He's really strong, and he is a great guy. He's doing a replay commentary with me. We did like 5 games, 6 games, and so far I think 3 games are out. 4 games maybe. And 2 will be uploaded probably during May or June. I really don't know when they will be out. But basically, what Catby told me, the first time I fought him, we played tier 4, and I played Sami because I do like Sami a lot. And the most important thing I remember from that first replay commentary I did with him is in unit count. Unit count as Sami is essential, it's very important. And it's important with all COs, but with Sami and Grid it's even more important because they rely on that. Sami will win only if she overwhelm her opponents. If they are only stalemate, she cannot win. And here's the why. Her direct are weak here. She relies on her indirect to pack a punch. But even there, her indirect are not really much better than normal. They're just normal. So, when there's the stalemate, Sami, it's rare she will hold her own. Now, in some cases, she can snatch away buildings and then overwhelm her opponent with the economy she will get. But most of the time, when there's a true stalemate, and she is really able to maintain her economy above yours, like, she can smash you. I'm getting lost in my mind, but I will get back to that right now. I killed that infantry to affect your unit count. So, a sami player, this happened recently. I was actually overwhelming a sami player, and I was sure I was about to win because usually when sami unit counts drop under yours, it's really hard for her to come back in the race. It's really hard for her to come back in the race because she has weaker direct and average indirect. So I was surprised because that guy was able to snatch away a lot of my building in a victory march. And I praise that person for achieving such goal, because usually when you fall behind with Sami, you cannot really come back. And that guy actually earned my respect because he was able to come back, and that led me to believe that guy is actually a decent Sami player. I do think if he get more experience or a better understanding of Sami, I do think that guy could be one of the strongest Sami player, because even when he's weak, he was able to beat me. So regardless, right now in this specific case, I want to hurt your unit count. Your infantry are your strongest asset, and at the same time I was able to scout that artillery. So let's see how it goes. You can keep going, but unit count is essential. Usually, when you fall behind as sami, good luck coming back. There are some cases you can, but it's really hard to come back.
Yeah, actually, I had a game against the Sami. I was Rachel, I think, and my opponent did a really good victory march. Like, they captured like 4 of my properties and got a massive income advantage, but then they still ended up losing that game. However, I did get scared, so that's kind of telling. It's definitely a good power. Okay. Here, I really need to, in fog games, watch my opponent's turn, because I lost this infantry, and I don't think I went back and looked at what attacked it and where that was. Because if I had, obviously priority number 1 is get that artillery to attack that tank.
Yeah. I will add something there. I never watch my replay, and I know I should, and I would be much better if I would. And I know sometimes I lose because of that. And here's my reason. I play relax, I play to change my mind, I don't care about winning or losing. Sometimes I get a bit of pride when I lose and I'm like, no, I didn't want it to lose this one, but you know what I mean, like, I play for fun, and I play over 80 plus games at once, so it would take me forever to go through each single turn of each single game. It would took like forever for me to like just rewatch each single
No, yeah, I feel that. It's
turn.
probably not necessary all the time. For me in particular though, I feel like I would get more frustrated at myself than the gain and fun from not watching it would be, if that makes sense. Um, but that's just my own predilection there. Oh, okay, so something does I do get vision of the tank. So that's fortunate. That might not have necessarily happened in a different world, but here we are. Okay.
So I will tell you something. This formation is pretty good. You make sure you shield your artillery. And I mentioned this because I see a lot of low-rated player. They just don't shield their artillery, and they are just very easy to reach. I don't know if I can smash it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see, I cannot reach it. So you actually did a really good job. And sometimes good player, they make it seems like they are not shielding it, but then you find another artillery behind, and you're like, damn, I'm done. But if you play against low-rated player, one of the biggest sin I see is not shielding their artillery. When I see that, I laugh so hard because I fought a few 1000, and I fought higher than this. I fought people from top 10, and they don't leave that just giving artillery. They just don't do it. So I'm not expecting anything more. Like, shield your artillery, and you did the right thing. You shielded properly. So this is a good behavior. Keep doing that. Don't fall in the trap. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I will just
It
leave his space for something to hit my artillery.
so it's tempting to be like, oh, I can play a mind game on my opponent. They probably think this artillery is guarded by something, so they're not going to attack it. But that would be a very risky play, and also probably doesn't work most of the time. So
If you do that, make sure you got something else in the back, bigger or stronger, or that can actually give you a good counterattack. If you just do it because you want to make look like someone dumb and you're really dumb, then it's not really good.
yeah, yeah. Even in a just playing the campaign, guarding your artillery is a very easy, common sense, good thing to do. Do I build a battlecopter here? Please tell me I do. Yes. Okay.
That's actually a very good build. This turn was a very good turn, a good comeback from the atrocious previous turn we had.
Yeah, I agree. So this artillery, I didn't see it. It fired on the infantry,
Yeah,
right? That's why
you
it spent
finished
the
off the
action. Okay.
infantry. Yeah, you finished off the infantry
Okay.
with your tank. And you actually did good by finishing off the infantry. Because now we are like even in unit count.
Uh-huh. Oh, I didn't do anything with this infantry in the corner here. There's
There's
not.
nothing you
It's
can
gonna
do.
die.
Yeah.
I can maybe check to see if there's something in this forest, but that's kind of dumb. So I just leave it alone. Okay, you start capturing there. Recon sees the entire universe. Okay, here you take out an infantry.
This is why
Oh, and you slip your
recon are
tank through the wall.
essential. This is why recon are
Yeah.
essential. And I laugh because I used to never play Recon because I truly hate Recon. I used to hate them at least. And back in the day, I was like, Recon, I know they're good, but I don't like them, so I won't use them. And then I fought many high ranked player, and I got slaughtered. And I realized I rated player, they do use Recon. They don't Recon spam, but they do use Recon. And then I connected the dot. I was like, if you're blind, you cannot do much. So I started making Recons, and this kind of thing happened. You realize, oh, I see that wall I can breach into. Oh, I see that unit I can smash. So that's why Recon are very important. That's also why in some maps opening with Recon is sometimes somewhat better than tanks. I still prefer much more the tank opening, but I've seen many I-rated player going for the Recon opening.
Yeah, in fog, it definitely makes sense. In standard, it's maybe a bit more debatable, but I still think
Recon and Standard are trash. They're just there to kill infantry or to make a more expensive wall.
yeah. So it early on, you might build like one in standard. That's been my experience. That's what I've seen other people doing. And beyond that, it's like you'd rather just have a tank or an infantry or something else. It, it's like a garbage half price tank.
So the two engagement I did, I'm not really happy with them, but I think I would still do them. And here's why I'm not really fully satisfied or happy. Both of your infantry are still alive. Now, would I change anything? Not really, because my two infantry cannot do much more, so they just did their best. So that's why it's fine. But usually you don't want to leave unit alive. You want to finish off stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I imagine you probably suspected I didn't have much backup.
Actually did not had any thought about that. I was like, I will protect my HQ the best I can. It's semi after all. I will not underestimate you. Even if I've seen a few mistakes, I was like, if I underestimate him, maybe he can just throw me some punch because that's Sammy. And if you underestimate Sammy, you can get really hurt.
Very true. Any CO really.
No,
You don't want to be
especially Sammy.
underestimating.
Especially Sammy, because by experience in the 800 realm of player, when you're 800, even 900, I've never really seen a good Sammy player. The first one I respect the most is the one that actually flipped the table when he was falling behind. But to my defense, on this game it was on light base, and you know how much I hate light base, so that played a huge role into it. But even in a tree based map, the same guy defeated me with another of my alternate account. I was like, okay, I start respecting the guy. Now I won't say he is a good semi player because I've seen good semi player and he wasn't one. He just played better than like most 800 or 900 would do with Sami. And that's something to praise because usually when people are in the 800 or 900, if you see them using Sami, they will most likely won't perform well because Sami is really hard to play. Lash, Sami, and Eagle are like the hardest CEO to play. There are Sasha as well. Sasha, Sami, Lash, Eagle. They are like the four hardest CEO to play, and for good reason. When you see a low-rated player, I will give a good example. I'm doing a Eagle mirror match, and when there's a mirror match on Global League, I always ask my opponent, "Look, can we draw? I ate a mirror match," and a lot of them just don't give a F, and they just want to do it. So I fight that Eagle player on a mirror match. I demolish him so badly, it's sad to see for him. And I cannot wait to cover that replay commentary, but That's to say, like Sammy, Eagle, Sasha, and Lash are seals really hard to play, and when you see them in the 800 or 900 realm, you're like, okay, you need to respect them if they are good, of course.
Right, yeah. Eagle especially. I feel like you have to really you're playing to a much different game plan than other COs. You're really building everything up towards that turn where you use the super.
Yeah, and I
And
will I will add this up. Lash among the four I mentioned is probably the easiest because she got the best day to day out of the four, and sometimes even somewhat bad player will be good with Lash, but they won't use the full extent and the full power of Flash because you need to be good at the game and you need to have a good grasp of how dynamic works with seals and how she works against other seals.
all right, I'm hoping to get to that point.
You will, because even if I see mistake, I when I fought you, I was like, okay, I've seen worse, much worse players than you. And anyway, you got like 7 wins, 8 defeats, so you haven't played that much. But for someone that played like 15 global league, I don't know how many casual you did, but for someone that played 15 global league, I think you performed better than most of people I met with like 15 games.
Oh, okay, that's reassuring to hear.
You're not that bad. You're not that bad. You did mistakes, but usually when you are in the 800, you do mistake. It's just normal. You don't have a full grasp, or you're not experienced enough or skilled enough to like see what's really wrong.
hmm Yeah, yeah. This is all a very new experience to me. Um,
Okay, that artery. It has 2 HP.
yeah, I need to move it. What did I do with it? I fired.
Shoot. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Move it
I
away.
guess I guess I was like, okay, this thing's gonna die anyway, but it really doesn't have to. Um, I could slink it over to this city and sort of put infantry here and here, and then you would have to do a bunch of extra work to get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not the play. APC
What
getting
the
trapped. Where was
APC
I
is
going with it? Is the
doing? What the
question.
APC is doing? What is he doing? What's that APC? No, 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 no. That's wrong. Never trap your APC like that. Just don't.
It's
A
not loaded right now, right?
I don't know what you were doing. APC are not scout. Use recon.
Yeah, yeah. No, recon are cheaper than APCs too, and they have 4 more vision. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Okay.
You do well. You see, this turn is a good turn if you kill off my 4 HP. Do you kill off my 4 HP?
I would hope so.
I hope as well.
Here I engage from the city instead. Better
That's a
terrain.
very good engagement. Yeah.
Kill that off. No, don't tell me. Don't tell me I leave that 4 HP guy alive. I'm scaring myself.
Okay. We need to speak about 2 things.
Okay.
First thing, don't join. I say that, I'm guilty of that as well, I join too much. Now, why it's so bad, it affects your unit count. Unit count is essential, and as I mentioned, if you fall behind with Sami, it's really, really hard to come back, and you need to really pull off some weird stuff to come back. So, when you do something to yourself to affect your unit count, it's not good. It's really bad. And even if you gain more HP, you prefer to have a lot of damage unit. A lot of damage unit, they can see, they have vision. That's why unit count is essential. You can have the power and the economy. Like you can be all powerful, rich, and everything. If you don't have any unit to support your economy, you won't be able to see what is coming next. You won't be able to hold your building. Now, that's the first thing I will say. The second one, let's just rewind a little bit.
Sure.
Now, we will use a tool I never use when I play. I only use it for my replay commentary. That's wrong. I know good player they usually use it during the games, but me, I'm experienced enough so I don't really need it. And to prove this point, before we use the damage calculator, I will tell you this: if you use that infantry to attack my infantry instead of capping, now you will lose 1k, but I will lose an infantry, and then you will be able to cap because all of my unit will be gone, and you will be affecting my unit count. And unit count is important. I know I'm Jess and you're Sami, but since your unit count is already a bit weaker, you need to affect mine in order to at least stay in the game. Now,
Yeah, I don't think I knew that at the time, but
quick guess. It's normal. It's normal. We don't always know it.
yeah.
Quick guess. This infantry, if it attacks my infantry, it will leave it at maybe 1 or 2 HP. Use
Oh,
the
1 or
4,
2.
you kill it. And now
Wait, I was thinking it would go to
we will
3.
use the damage calculator to know exactly. But I'm telling you,
Okay.
these 2 infantry are enough to kill it. You're Sami after all. But
That is true.
I can tell you my guess is good. So we will switch this around. You have 10 HP, I have forests, and it's wrong.
Wait, do shoals have 1 star of defense or 0?
Oh, one moment. I'm just focused on the current task.
Sure.
And you are Sami. So what was your question?
So the shoal that I would have been attacking you from, that is 0 stars of defense. So you need to...
You're right.
Doesn't make a difference, I guess.
So 64 to 72. So at the lowest, I fall to 2 HP. Now, let's say you went for the lowest. So now my infantry is at 2 because you went for the lowest. And I'm Jess, but that doesn't really matter since you're the one. But that matters on the fireback, but now you have a 4 HP infantry. You see, even at your lowest, you kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that settles it pretty firmly.
I was right about saying these 2 are enough to kill this. Yeah, next time you will know, like, capping the building is not bad per se, because you still get economy, but killing a enemy unit, if it's only critical area, sometimes it can be better, and you can assume I have nothing there, because you already have seen other infantry, you already had skirmishes here and there, and you can tell, like, you can guess there's nobody, or you can take the guess there's nobody, and maybe think, okay, if there's someone, at least I will lose a building, but at least he lost something as well.
Yeah, true.
So let's keep going.
Okay. Okay, so I joined there. That was not the move. What?
Now,
okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Let me go through this turn. What happened with that infantry on the building right there?
Sometimes they vanish.
That's the question.
Oh, maybe he died, or maybe no. You let him live. Why didn't you kill him? You should have died.
No, I'm wondering, like, what did I do with that unit?
Nothing.
First of all, I built a medium tank. That's worth talking about. But even
Okay.
besides that,
No. What did the infantry do?
okay, if we go to the next turn, it's moved. What is up with
I
that?
got trapped.
By
One,
what?
one of your unit got trapped. Because that's a forest there.
I know, but this unit saw into the forest, so it couldn't have been trapped.
Yes, it's trapped. It just doesn't show. Because how come
Oh,
that?
wait. Was it trapped earlier in the turn and it was
Yeah,
just displayed?
exactly.
Okay, I see. Now this all makes sense. Now that's why I left it alive.
Yeah, I understand more as well. At first, I didn't know it was a forest style, but then when we do this, I see it's a forest style. So, yeah, it got trapped.
Okay.
Okay, we will speak about that medium tank. I'm someone that likes to take up fast, and it's very good for people in general to take up fast, in my own opinion. But you are semi. In the current state of the game, you are lacking the vision. You see, I see more than half of the map right now. And now let's just rewind here. You don't see as much as me. You're blind there. You're blind there. You're blind there. Now let's go to me. I see much more. I see that city there. I I barely see it, but I still see. Do you see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
your vision is like centered around here, but my vision covers much more than you. So in the current state of the game, taking up is useless for two reasons, sorry. First one, there's a lot of forest, so that medium tank will be very slow. And I think Neo Tank are much better than Medium Tank in this specific map. I think it's a trash map for Medium Tank, but I think I still build one. But we will see if I build any, but I think it's a Neo Tank map because it's terrain AV. And the second reason why it's bad to take up that fast the way you did is you're blind. You don't see that much, you just see like this line here. You don't have enough vision for a medium tank. Medium tank are really good when you got vision, when you can see most of the map, or when you can see where the most important engagement are. And to be honest, your vision is not good enough. And this all goes back to the lack of recon. This is why recon are this important. This is my recon that provide me the intel of this area. And this is also why I find that funny when people just throw away their recon to damage infantries. Because I'm like, okay, you just gave me your vision to deal me a cap. And this is something very common for 800 rated player. A lot of them just throw their recon, they're like, oh, recon must interrupt cap. No, recon must gather intel. Recon are important for intel. Do not just throw away your recon to just like, oh yeah, I delayed your tower. You'll still get the tower, but you won't get back the recon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's that's a concept that's a bit harder to wrap my mind around because I haven't been thinking of vision as a resource quite like that. But that that makes sense if you think of it in that way. I think I have to play a bit more to really get a full understanding of that.
You know, that's very funny because it took me so long to see vision as a resource. It took me like very long. That's why I am very experienced, but I'm not skilled because sometimes to understand some concept like vision resource, it took me like almost forever. I needed to fight other I rated player and do replays with them to get that concept right. And some player just start a game and they are just smart and skilled, so they are already good from the get-go. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Vision is important, but it's normal. Like, I was in the same boat as you back in January. I did like my first collab with someone else like in December, and he really helped me out a lot. That was DJs. We did a great field
I've seen
together.
a couple of his. I've seen a couple of his
He is,
videos.
I think he's like top 6 or top 5. I'm not
Yeah,
quite sure.
he climbed fast. He didn't. He started in like July of last year, and now he's
Yeah,
top 5.
like,
That's
because he's
pretty
very
impressive.
skilled and he has good understanding of the game. So, let's keep going.
Absolutely. Copter. Okay. Oh my god, that killed?
Yeah,
Oh, you had the tank too.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That engagement right there. You
So,
ended up
um, here's my thought process. My infantry
okay.
should have died. And I was like, I need to lower his unit HP, and I think I can send my 7 HP to your 6 to lower it even further. That's the right thing to do. Because you see, I will explain you something else, but that's something I learned on my own by playing. Count your HP. You got 9. Here I got 15. What happens if 15 smash 9? I can actually low you down to maybe 2 HP, 3 HP. Maybe I can kill you if I roll. But let's pull up the damage calculator again. I never use that in the games, as I said, but I use them for my replays. Maybe that's one of the reasons I'm that low ranked. I am Jess. This will affect my firepower. Jess, you are semi. I attack from plane. You are in building. So you see, I will lose the first engagement. At my lowest, I deal you 3 damage. So at my lowest, you fall to 6. At my highest, you still fall to 6, but you have more chip damage. So you're closer to 5 than 6. At your lowest, you strike me back a 4, which means I would fall at 4. At your strongest, it's possible I drop to 3 because of chip damage. Now, let's say my second screen just decided to sleep.
Oh.
I will reopen it. It doesn't affect our replay, it's just affecting my chat. So, let's say I fall to 3 because you got higher firepower, and you fall to 6. So, this will get worse for me, but attention, I got that 7 here. My engagement favored me now. Do you see it? My 7.
Hold on. Bring up the 8 versus 9 again. Yeah. Wasn't there a chance I only dropped to 7 myself?
No. There's no chance. Because
okay, never mind.
32 is the lowest.
I see. Okay, yeah. Then the plan makes sense to me.
Yeah, so now you drop to 6, then it's 7 on 6. So at the end, I think I will lose more HP than you because you're semi and I'm Jess. But that infantry will be disabled. And what can this infantry truly do? Maybe get trapped into something? I didn't know you had that because I don't watch the replay, but I was like, if I send it there or there, I will probably get trapped. So I will just try to damage one of his infantry, and let's see what is the final result of these two engagements. I think.
Oh,
Take the
you
second
peek into
shot.
that forest.
Take that second shot. Don't tell me I didn't take that
It's the
second
last
shot.
action you took the whole turn. Oh no, you didn't even do it.
Ah, my infantry
Oh,
got
you got
trapped.
trapped. I see.
Okay. I don't see why I decided to attack infantry then. All of that. Usually what I do, I play overly aggressive to kill stuff or damage things the best I can. I just didn't do it this time around. That's terrible. Okay, my turn wasn't really good. I killed a few infantry in the center because they need to kill off what you can kill off. But yeah, that was a terrible turn. Let's
I
keep
think
going.
your center is stronger right now because of what happened
Yeah.
that last turn. So that wasn't that bad on that front. This engagement was just a little questionable.
If I sent my 7 HP, which is probably my initial plan, but I just forgot as I played the turn, I don't know. I just don't know. That was truly a bad engagement. I do agree. You see, that's the kind of mistake I still do. I just took his
Yeah,
stuff sometimes.
yeah, that's fine. Here I think I employ a second use for this APC, meat shield.
That's good, a meat shield, but
It's not great, but you know,
you
the
have
APC
megs.
survive or that artillery is surviving.
You have megs, I mean. I'd rather use the APC to ferry megs than using APC for meat shield.
You're probably right.
No, that was a really bad APC.
Yeah, I got like very little value out of building it across the
So
course of
you
the
did the
game.
anti-air tank infantry, which is the good thing to do. It's pretty late in the game, and actually I think you did it because you see my copter. You
Yeah.
see, the moment you build it, right now it's too late. The copter is already there, it's already getting value. The whole point of the anti-air is to deny value from the copter. But I
Hmm.
already got this.
Since my next action is fire. Oh, of course, I killed that off. Makes sense. All right, now it's your turn again. All right, so let me take stock here real quick. Um, we have the same income. I have more unit value, presumably because of the medium tank.
Yeah.
One higher unit count, which
At the
is
start of
about to
my
go
turn,
down.
yeah, at the
Yeah.
start of my turn, it's fine. If you're already down at the start of my turn, it's where it's starting to look pretty bad. But since we are similar at the start of my turn, depending on what I do, it can turn out ugly for you or not. We'll see.
Hmm. Here you activate turbocharge. Does that boost copters? No, right?
On Advanced Wars by Web, they use the same stats as Dual Strike, so basically, power buff all units in defense and offense, and it's for every seal, not just Jess.
Oh,
So
that's
even
right.
if you have weak your direct, under your power, your direct become normal. So my copter is now normal because of that buff.
I see.
Because
Okay.
in Black Hole Rising, it's only defense buff, but in Dual Strike, in the first game, I believe, the first game, and I'm not quite sure, I haven't played enough the first game. I did play it, I did finish it, but I didn't like it enough to play it, like, again and again and again. No, 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 no. So I not quite sure about the firepower buff, but in Black Hole Rising, defense buff and Dual Strike defense and offense.
Okay, here you break the wall, which was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Here you get a huge engagement on my tank. Take out an infantry. You're gonna take out another one right here. A third? A fourth? Oh my god.
It's a
It's a
butchery.
slaughter fest.
Yeah. So we have two seals that are really aggressive. We rely on our power to be good. Now,
Hmm.
just overdrive is by no means bad. It's just better to rely on our power. Now, if there's a stalemate, overdrive can actually break the stalemate, but the whole point of spamming turbo charge is to not go into stalemate mode.
Wait, so you often mention stalemates. Can I get a little definition of what that looks
Stalemates,
like or what that entails? Yeah.
stalemates. It's basically both player have the same income, or one of the two player have like one extra building, and unit count is the same in both turn. And when both player basically smash into each other, like for example, I take my turn, I kill 4 of your units, but we have the same unit count, and on your turn, you basically have 5 kill or 4 kill, the same amount of kill. So basically, when it's a tie, like basically when the game are really long, when it's like 20 plus turn, usually there's a stalemate there, or the other reason is one of the player didn't wanted to basically resign. But if the game doesn't favor any of the two players, and the game just drags on, it's a stalemate.
Okay.
It is stalemate, like it's when none of the two player is on the winning position, and they just do well both against each other. They just match into each other. They just do good. Like one of them is falling a bit behind, but he's coming back, and then the other one is falling a bit behind. It's like when games are very long. Uh, so overdrive is really good to break a stalemate. If you see you're in the same realm of power of your opponent, if you know you have like the same income and roughly the same unit count, you can say, okay, there's a stalemate, I will save for my overdrive. And that's because you haven't played enough turbocharge, or because you guys are truly in the same realm of power and you truly benefit well from your seals. Now, uh, since we are on power dynamic, I will speak about Sami. I mentioned earlier I would speak about power dynamic later on about Sami. Now I see 5 stars filled with Sami. Now I think I filled a lot of your stars at the start of of this turn. Actually, I think it's the case. I filled a lot of that at the start of this turn. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, I filled 2 of your stars. So this truly hurts you a lot.
Hurts me?
Because you're semi. This means you lost a lot of units. Each star is 9k value. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
since most of the kill I had were infantries, uh, this is how it goes. So now at that point, it's 20 to 28. You probably have already lost the game, because at the start of your turn there's a 8 unit gap between the both of us, and um, you got 5 stars and I just used a 3-star power. So maybe I feel like another star, maybe I'm at 4 star. The player that lose always have more charge. So you can assume maybe I'm at 4 stars or 4.5, but I'm clearly not at 5 because you went from 3 to 5 one shot and almost 6. You started your 6 star. So at that point, you have two options you should have in mind. The first one is resign because you probably lost. The second one is, can I get a good double time? Now, there are two types of double time. Type 1, you increase your capture gain. You can reach a lot of building you can normally cannot reach because of the extra space. Now, this map and the current state of the game doesn't allow you to do such double time. Maybe you can reach that building, but there's a tank, and you got nothing to deal with the tank. So right now, the option to capture building is not a good option. It's not a good viable option. So it's out of the picture. But for example, if the state of the game was reversed and I had double time, 1, 2, 3, 4. This infantry can now capture this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This infantry can now capture this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This infantry can capture this. So you see, this could be, if I was Sami, this could be a good capture double time for me. And even this one, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can capture this. Do you know where I'm getting at?
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean.
So now, the second case where double time is really good is when you can kill a lot of infantries. Now you will tell me it's just infantry. It's not true. It's economy. Infantry are vision, economy, and threats. What can capture your HQ? Infantries. What do you want to do with infantries? Use an anti-air to kill it, or one of your infantry? In Sami case, you have stronger infantry and weaker anti-air. You would rather use your infantry to smash the other infantry. So, a good double time, when you don't necessarily capture building, would be pushing and killing infantries and mechs and just wipe them out from the front line. This is a good offensive double time, but it's really hard, that second type. But if you can make it work, you will place your opponent into a situation he cannot tank spam anymore because his economy will be hurt. He won't be able to expand his economy. He won't be able to deal with your own infantry, with other infantry, and he will be forced into using his tank into your infantry. So, in this case, can you do a good double time with the current state of the game? It's hard to say. Now we will give good example because I don't think you use double time. Maybe you use it later. I'm not quite sure.
I think I use it either this turn or the turn after this.
Yeah, this turn should have been the turn, but maybe it's the turn after that. I don't know. We will see. So, is it a good double time? Now, I'm losing my focus because I need to go at the bathroom, so just keep them like occupied.
Sure,